Elvis, welcome to Locked In, man.
Yeah,
I love your name, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Where does that come from?
Well, I'm Dominican. I'm from, I was born here, but my mother and father are from Dominican Republic, and it's like a common name in Spanish countries.
Is it really?
Yeah, everybody's Elvis. So,
wow.
yeah.
I think I might have met a couple Elvises in prison.
It's weird. I only met like 3 my whole life, though.
Well, it's an iconic name. Mm-hmm. And your last name is cool, too.
Yeah, Deschamps.
Deschamps,
It's like
okay.
French.
But it's spelled like Deschamps, kind of like it has the word champ in it.
Yeah, it's like the champ.
Yeah, exactly. That's so awesome.
Yep.
But you lived here your whole life?
Yeah, I grew up in Long Island. When I was little, I lived in Dominican Republic, but it was at a very young age, like 5, 6, something like that. Came out here, moved to Queens, and that's when all the craziness started. Very young. Yeah, I lived in Corona or Flushing, something like that. I was so young, I don't really remember those years too much, but...
Who'd you grow up with? Like any siblings? Mom and dad were both
I got
here?
2 sisters, mom and dad. Dad disappeared around the age of 10. He actually tried to kill my mom, so yeah, it was pretty crazy.
And how old were you? You were 10 when that happened?
Yeah, I always remembered. He came through and he took us out, me and my little sister. Took us, I forgot where we went. I think we went to a family member's house or something like that, or a carnival. And let's sit up a little bit. And then it was crazy. He was like jealous because my mom didn't even have anybody. But in his mind, because he used to do drugs, he like invented this whole scenario about my mom doing stuff and this and that. Meanwhile, they've been broken up for years.
Oh, they were separated already?
Yeah, for years.
Okay.
He was just jealous. Anyways, he ended up bringing me and my little sister to his apartment. And then he shows us a sawed-off shotgun. Meanwhile, I'm like 10. My sister's like 7. And he's like, this is the gun I'm going to use to kill your mother. So I'm like, you know what I mean? I'm 10, so I'm believing him like, oh, snap, he's about to kill my mom tonight. Like, so he's like, she's dead. He's like bugging out. So my little sister's crying. You know, I'm scared too, but I'm trying to like be tough for my little sister, so I stay quiet. As soon as we got home, I snitched him out to my mother. I said, Ma, he got a shotgun. He gonna kill you. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna call the cops, you know what I'm saying? And I guess homeboy was on his way. He was on his way there or something like that. And they caught him on the way with the shotty.
So he had already brought you guys back home and he was planning it for a different day.
No, I think for later on that day.
So why would he even bring you back home in harm's way?
Maybe the thought of stuff, you know what I'm saying?
Wow.
But he didn't care. When I was like 5 or 6, when we lived in Queens, I used to be drawing, playing in a corner. And really, I was drawing and playing in the corner to like erase what was going on. Because meanwhile, in the background, my dad is pistol whipping my mom and just being a psycho, you know what I'm saying? So that was like my way of zoning out from all that, I guess.
Did your dad have a job or was he just in the streets?
He was a drug dealer. I think he was a big one. I was young, but I think he was a big one because he had like multiple cars and, you know, we had stuff, you know what I'm saying?
He took care of you guys financially?
Back then, from what I remember. But like I said, I was really young, so who really knows? But I think so because he used to be there, pay the bills and stuff. My mom didn't really work, so.
Oh, she didn't have to work?
Yeah, she was chilling. She would work, but not like that, you know what I'm saying?
Did she tolerate his behavior because he was paying for everything?
Honestly, I don't know. I think my mother didn't learn English ever. My mom understands it right now, but so I just feel like maybe she felt like if like she would have nobody else, you know what I'm saying? Back then it wasn't like now where there's so many Hispanics everywhere. You know, it was different. There was a lot of Hispanics, but it was just a lot different. My mother never spoke English, so everything was hard for her, you know what I'm saying?
So did he get arrested that day? Yeah,
he got arrested, and he was deported, actually, to Dominican Republic, and he's never come back.
So they had enough evidence to charge him and everything?
Yeah, they found a gun. Plus, that was like his 3rd gun charge. He's been in prison multiple times for hurting people. Like, dude was nuts, you know what I'm saying?
How did you feel about that situation?
I was scared, but to be honest, thinking back, knowing he was gone for a long time, it was like a relief because I felt like, yes, mommy's going to be safe, you know what I'm saying? And that's all I really cared about. As a kid, you only care about your mom, really, you know what I'm saying? I guess the guys have their dad around, you know, love their dad. I never really had him around, so I can't really tell you what it's like to have a dad, you know what I'm saying?
How did she change towards you guys after he left the picture permanently?
Mom stayed the same. She was just a hardworking woman, took care of us, never was out hanging out or doing things she wasn't supposed to. When we got older as teenagers and stuff, she would go out with her friends, but nothing crazy, just regular, like go out with a few friends and you know, my mom always carried herself with respect, which was fire, you know what I'm saying?
How would people describe you as a kid?
Me, bad, very bad. I used to be really bad. I don't know why, but I know why. Honestly, now that I'm older, I look back and I was just a hurt kid. Like I really wanted a dad. And my whole life, I used to think about that. I always remember a story when I was like 10 years old. We lived in a homeless shelter. Not 10, like 11. This is after my dad was gone. We lived in a homeless shelter because we had nowhere to go. It was this place called Help Suffolk. It's like a, you know, homeless community or whatever, but they have like apartments for people. So we lived up in there, and I just remember it was like, there was guys in there that had their dads and stuff, but there was a lot of them that didn't, and they had this thing called Father Sunday. And even at 40 in a couple of days, I always remember this because I remember how bad it hurt me. Like, I remember just feeling like they had this thing called Father Sunday. And one day I'm in the playground, this kid tells me, you gotta come to Father Sunday, it's lit, you know what I'm saying? We used different slang back then, but whatever. He's like, it's so cool, you gotta come, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, but I don't got a dad. And then he's like, it's all good. I'm sure they'll let you in, man. They're grown-ups, they're not gonna be mean to you. And I was like, all right, I'll be there. So it was like a Friday. I pull up on my bike and I go up to the door, and it's no big deal, but I remember how much it hurt me, man. This guy opened the door, he's like, hey, young man, where's your father? And I'm like, oh, I don't have a dad, but my friend told me to come by. He's like, sorry, this is Father Sunday. If you don't have a father, you can't come in. Maybe you can go find an uncle or something to come with you. And I remember just, to him, it was like no big deal. And he was an adult, so he probably felt he was being nice, but I remember it was like the sadness that entered me, and I just rode off, and I remember crying. And as a kid, that's what made me so bad. I just kind of was hating on the kids with a dad, you know what I'm saying?
Did your mom ever date around or remarry or anything?
Nah, she ain't date at all until I was like 17. And then the guy that she met is the guy she's still with now, and I can't stand him. He's the reason me and my mother don't even speak no more because of him. Yeah, he stole some money from me. And, you know, I felt like my mom wasn't moving fast enough to get my money back, so I didn't do nothing to him. You know, I don't live like that anymore, but I guess I put a little fear in him. You know, just words. I didn't physically touch him or anything. I don't move like that anymore, but you know, my mom didn't like how I went about it. I like cursed him out and threatened him and stuff, and I shouldn't have done that. But
was he in the streets too?
Nah, he's like a janitor, like good guy, I guess, but not that good. He stole all that money from me, you know what I'm saying? Or he tried at least. I got my money back. But ever since that day, my mother never spoke to me again.
Do you remember the first time you kind of turned to the streets as a kid?
Yeah. I always remember when I was like, I always did little bad things, but when I finally like got involved in street stuff, I was like, I would like to say like anywhere from 14 or 16. Weed's legal now, so I could speak on it. But there's this guy in my neighborhood, one of my good friends for all these years. This guy Blake, man, he's cool peoples. He when I was a teenager, I go up to him because I worked at McDonald's and it sucked. I wasn't making no money, so I'm just like, yo, Blake, yo, let me holler at you, man. I'm like, yo, I don't want to talk too much about it, but I'm trying to get money. He's like, oh, you want to make money? I remember he gave me 3 nicks, 3 little $5 bags of weed. And he told me, go around the apartment complex, and if you can move these 3 $5 bags within 15 minutes, I got you. So I'm like, word? So I remember taking them, running around the neighborhood. I'm yo, you need weed? You need weed? You need weed? No, I don't need no weed. I'm like, yo, anybody need weed? So I ended up going home and trying to get $15 from my mom, and then just hiding the weed and coming back like I did it. And he put me on, and that's when I started like selling weed. That didn't last long. I remember there was a local, big time guy that sold, crack and stuff like that. And once I got enough money together, I went up to him and was like, can you put me on to selling crack? And he tried to scare me off, like, this ain't for you, kid. Like, because he's a good guy. I still know him. I won't say his name, but I still know the guy, He was trying to scare me off for that, but I was already determined, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, yo, this is what I do. This is what I'm doing, you know what I mean? And he put me on, and I started selling crack and stuff at the age of like 16, 17. Were
you still going to school?
Yeah, but I got expelled. I actually, I was a really bad kid. How did that all go down? They was like, people didn't really mess with me, but people like to talk bad about me. And when I was in school, I think I came to school with a machete. Yeah, I brought a machete to school, and I had it like stashed away. And got into something, threw a chair at somebody. I didn't get expelled for that. I actually got expelled because there was a Muslim girl. Shout out, I don't got nothing against no religion or nothing. I'm a Christian. I follow Jesus Christ. But there was this Muslim girl, and back then, this is like 2001. This is like right before 9/11 and all that. She was wearing, what they usually wear. I don't know what they call it, so I'm not gonna say it incorrectly. But she was wearing what she was wearing, and joking around. I'm a teenager. I'm like, you better have a bomb or an AK under that thing. And she started crying, walks off, and I'm thinking, no big deal, she'll get over it. And then next year they called me to the principal's office to get a new schedule. Oh, we're changing your schedule. So I'm like, oh, you're changing my schedule. It was me and my friend Nudie. He's deported for homicide too, but he's free now. He's a Christian, good dude. But they call us down. Then when we enter, there's cops in there. And they like grab me up. Turns out the girl and some other kids said I had a gun and that I said, I'm going to shoot you by the end of the day or something like that, which wasn't what I said at all. But they believed it because I was the bad kid and I got expelled.
Wow.
Yeah.
How'd your mom react that you were starting to sell drugs?
At first she didn't know, but I remember one day it was winter. And my mom didn't have a car at the time. So she was walking to the bodega, a little deli up the street. And she said, let me use your coat. So I'm like, yeah, use my coat. Because I had a big bubble coat. And I had like 2 ounces of weed in it. No big deal. But she comes back, look what was in here. And my mom like always used to exaggerate. I could have been arrested. The FBI could have snatched me up. I'm like, nah, it's 2 ounces of weed. But that's when she found out I was in the street. So she didn't really like it. She knew where it led. But, as a kid, you don't see the consequences. You just see, like, I'm going to be a baller. I'm going to have a nice car. Everybody's going to like me. You know what I'm saying? And we were poor. I mean, I was literally the kid with the talking sneakers. You know what I'm saying? The sole coming off and wear the same 2-3 jeans, 2-3 T-shirts. Kids in school would notice because I used to hear rumors. Damn, he always wears that. And it would, like, kill me inside. You know what I'm saying? It was, like, depressing me. So I said, I'm going to be a drug dealer because all the drug dealers were getting money, you know what I'm saying? Was
she against street life even though your dad was in it?
Yeah, my mom didn't like that stuff. My mom used to try to whip me and stuff, you know what I'm saying? But she wasn't like an abusive, grimy mom. My culture, that's regular. You misbehave, you get a whipping, you know what I'm saying? So I would get my whipping and all that, but...
What'd your sisters do with their lives?
My older sister, she got pregnant early, like at 17. So she started a family. She was actually with that man for like 26 years. And then he was unfaithful and betrayed her, you know what I'm saying? Glory to God, she moved on. She actually is dating a man of God now, a man that's in the church. And not dating, they actually got married. And she's doing great in life.
When was the first time you got jammed up with the law?
The first time I got jammed up, I was like 12. I went into Kmart with my friends, my boy Greg, Max, a bunch of guys I grew up with. We went into Kmart to steal. You know what I mean? Back in the day when I was a kid, that's what we used to do. So we pull up on the bikes or whatever. And we go in there. And I remember we were trying to steal Game Boy games. So, that was like the council thing back then. So I remember as we're leaving, there was this brolic dude walking inside. He's like, and I'm thinking it's this guy from my neighborhood that we know, this older guy. So when he goes, hey, what's up, fellas? I'm like, hey, I'm being like a kiss ass. Oh, what up, bro? What's good? He just snatched me. Gang. And then 2 other guys came, gang, and they snatched us. And I'm like, what the? He goes, you want to be stealing, huh? I'm like, oh, snap. Called the cops. Cops cuffed. One of my friends ran off, but the cops cuffed us. And, we kids, so we scared. The cop is in my face telling me, when you turn 16, let me tell you something, boy, when you turn 16, I'm going to be the cop that shoots you for being a criminal. Like, I guess he was trying to scare me straight, you know what I'm saying? But it didn't work. I was just looking at him like, damn, this guy's better leave me alone, you know what I'm saying? That was my first time ever in trouble with the law, but after that, it was like every other day.
The great rewards hunt is heating up at DraftKings Casino. Get in on big wins, nonstop action, and thrilling games. And if you're new, we've got something special. 500 casino spins on a featured game. Just sign up with code Ian Bick, wager $5, and start spinning today. Only at DraftKings Casino. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. 21 plus. Physically present in Michigan, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, West Virginia only. Void in Connecticut and Ontario. Eligibility restrictions apply. New customers only. Non-withdrawable casino spins valid for featured game only and expire in 168 hours. See terms at casino.draftkings.com/promos. Ends 4/27/25 at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time. Before you start getting in trouble, did you have like career goals, aspirations, college, anything in mind?
As a kid,
Yeah.
Regular kid dreams. Oh, I want to be a wrestler. I want to be this or that. I remember I never was a good kid. I felt like a good person inside, but I had so much evil going on in my world on the outside. Even as I was a child did. It was like my whole life was corrupted. When I was a kid, my mom wasn't doing nothing on the street, but my dad was. Other family members were, you know what I'm saying? And, we was a family of basically all we knew is, and I don't mean the women, but the men sell drugs, get money, build a life here, build a life in DR, and that's it, you good.
Do you blame your dad for the path you went down?
Well, now I know in life that because I'm a Christian now, I know that everything's for a reason. So I don't blame him on some oh, I hate you or nothing. But I do feel that, things he did, affected me a lot in my life because as a kid, I was really depressed behind not having a dad. I used to think there was something wrong with me or, you know what I'm saying? I used to just feel like a loser, And I used to be kind of a hater too. I used to look out the window and see one of my friends get in the car with his dad. His dad will pat him in the back. Come on, son, we're going to go have a great day. And I'm like, fuck you, fuck your dad. You know what I mean? And just being a hater. Now that I'm older, I can recognize that I was just a little jealous, I guess. And it was rough, man.
So what happens next? You start selling drugs in your teens?
Start selling drugs, and then one of my friends come home from jail. He's supposed to be a Crip or something. So he's telling us about the Crips. Yo, you should join the Crips. Everybody in our neighborhood's a blood. Why follow that? You don't want to be a fucking kiss ass following the same people. We got to be different. So me and my friend Joel all right, let's be Crips. So we're not really official Crips. We're just saying we're Crips. And we're tough enough where nobody's going to do nothing about it. So we're just like, yeah, we are Crips. What are you going to do? And I went that path, drug dealing gangs. At the age of 17, I met my first baby mother. This Dominican girl from the next town over. And within a year, we had my daughter. I have a 21-year-old daughter right now. I have a 19-year-old daughter. And I have 3 sons too. I have 12, 11, and 8. You know what I'm saying?
Did joining that gang life give you kind of a sense of family that you were looking for?
Nah. It didn't give me a sense of nothing. It just gave me a sense of us jumping people and being evil. That's all we was doing. We was just being grimy, selling drugs, and thinking we were cool. At that time, we talking about 2001. This is when Dipset was cool. You know what I'm saying? So they were like Bloods. So we wanted to be like them, but yet not be Bloods. So we was like that was weird. Just a bunch of kids being stupid. You know what I'm saying?
So you never actually officially became a Crip? You were just saying you were one?
Nah, we just had some kids that say, yo, you guys are Crip. All right, we're Crips. You know what I mean? And then that was it. And then eventually we realized we were fake Crips, even though we were tougher than half the dudes out there. And we were like, yo, you know what? I remember I was like, even though I'm a fake Crip, I'm starting my own Crip group. And I'm going to be the leader. And none of you are going to do nothing about it because none of you are tough enough to do nothing about it. And I did.
And no one did anything?
No. If they tried, we'll just finish them.
How many people were in your crew?
Not many. Probably 6 or 7.
And what was a typical day? What were you guys doing?
Nothing. Hanging out like the stupid kids, smoking weed with bandanas hanging out of our pockets and on our heads, thinking we look cool. We look ridiculous, But that was then. Back then, that's what I thought was lit. All those years and around that age period, I was just selling drugs and doing evil stuff, man. And I remember back then, this is a crazy part of my life. Since I was young, I've had these spiritual gifts. That's where it gets weird, like my friend FSG. But
that episode, I didn't know how I was going to do, and it just took off because people are really interested in that. The
everything
warlock,
he says is true.
Yeah, all that stuff.
Ever since I was young, I always feel like I have some demonic presence around me. I'm almost 40. I'll be 40 in a few days. So for me at 40 to think something that happened as a kid was real, something like that, still, I gotta be real. When I was 6, I was laying in bed. I always remember this, man. And I'm almost 40, bro. So, by now I would have been like, yeah, I was bugging. I was a kid, No, it was real. I remember this. I was laying right there in bed, and I remember my mom going to the bathroom and a shadow entering the room. And I seen this shadow. And I was like, what the fuck is that? And I'm looking at it. And it just came slowly over to the bed and just went over me and it was gone. So I started screaming, Ma! Ma, like a kid, you know what I'm saying? Mommy! Ah! She's like, calm down, you bugging out, man. Stop it with that before I whip your ass. I'm just like, oh man, I seen it. It was a weird shadow. It looked like a bull. It entered my chest. It looked like a huge bull. So long story short, everybody thought we were bugged down crazy, or that I was bugged down crazy. And we used to see a lot of stuff as kids. And growing up, I remember at the age of 14, bro, this is a real story, bro. We was playing the Ouija board. And there's people in my neighborhood that was there. My boy Greg, Deschamps, there's a whole bunch of people that was there. And they know this is true. We was playing a Ouija board. And I was, not the only. It was me and 2 other Spanish kids. The rest were, African-American, black people. Don't speak no Spanish. So I said, yo, I got an idea. I know how we can figure out if this thing is real or not. Since we speak Spanish and you guys don't, let's ask it something in Spanish, but you guys hold the little thing because you guys don't know Spanish. So if you guys are faking it, you can't answer back in Spanish. So they're like, whoa, great idea. We're going to see if it's real or not. So we like, any Spanish ghosts, like, they want to come out, you know what I'm saying? And the thing answered back in Spanish, bro. And I'm 40 years old, man. I'm telling you that. I remember. It said in Spanish, my name is Roberto. I died in Puerto Rico on the west side. I don't even know what the west side is, but it said I died on the west side in Puerto Rico. And I told them, yo, that thing just spoke. So the Spanish kids, we know it really worked. So we're like, and they're looking at us like we're faking it. And my whole life I've had those things. I believe that a lot of those spiritual things that happen to me, it's like demonic, me being attacked, like demonic presence, which later on you're going to see like it's a lot of crazy stuff that's happened. But at the age of like 19, I went with some guy that I met that day. Like if I meet somebody today, like meeting you, and right now you're like, hey, you want to go commit a robbery? All right, let's do it. So I go with some guy that I never met in my life to go do a robbery. And he ends up shooting the guy up. So I'm like, what the? We run. So I go to my cousin who knows him, and I'm like, yo, you know your friend just shot this guy up, right? Oh, really? Just stay quiet. Don't say nothing. All right? So we don't get caught up. We get in no trouble. You don't want him to shoot us. I'm like, all right. So I'm like, all right, whatever. Let me just leave this alone. Go to sleep. Wake up next day. News 12. This guy's dead. I'm like, oh, snap.
The guy that committed the robbery?
No, the guy that got robbed. So I'm
dead.
like, oh, snap. This dude is dead. So I'm like, well, I ain't kill him. You know what I mean? Being young, I'm like 19. So I don't know the law. I'm thinking, I ain't kill him. I ain't worried about nothing. You know what I'm saying? So I ended up dipping to Florida because I actually had some friends down in Florida, and I was like, I'm out of here. I'm going to go out there for a bit, and I'll come back when stuff's not hot. I go to Florida. I'm chilling. 11 days later, I'm walking down the street. U.S. Marshals run out of everywhere. Don't move! Get on the fucking ground! Motherfucker! And I'm like, oh, shit, what the fuck is going on? I know what's going on, but I'm trying to play it like, what's going on? What this is a misunderstanding. So they do the normal yoke me up, throw me in the car thing. They bring me down to some sheriff's department or something. And they tell me, yeah, you got a body, you murdered somebody, blah, 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 blah. Long story short, when I get extradited to New York, and I'm like, I'm not gonna say no, I'm just keep my mouth shut, you know what I'm saying? Ain't got nothing to do with that. So, long story short, I'm in the bullpen, where before you go to court and all that, I'm sitting in there. And now they bring the guy in, the guy,
shooter.
the guy I met. So I'm like, yo, bro, let me holler at you. Like, yo, I ain't seen nothing, so you good? And he's like, all right, thank you. I ain't seen nothing either. I'm like, all right, good looking. I'm like, you already know, we just gonna hold it down. So a few months pass. He's just holding it down. Next thing you know, there's this thing called emotional discovery, where you get basically everything that's been said against, This fucking guy took every detail what he did, everything, and said I did it, and then put himself in my shoes and put me in his shoes. So that's why I'm charged with murder. I'm like, what the fuck? So I'm terrified. To be honest, I'm like 19. I'm like, what the fuck? Yo, this dude's a loser. So I'm sending messages everywhere. Anywhere you see him, slice him, fuck him up, get him. Because I'm pissed. I'm like, yo, this guy for this whole time, he said we were quiet, we were going to hold it down. So now I've been sitting there for like a year, maybe a little more. And I remember my lawyer coming. My lawyer says, detectives want to talk to you, blah, blah, blah. I got to be present there. I'm like, all right. So they pull up and they're like, hey, why don't you tell us? You're innocent, man. We found out this. So it turns out the guy had a girlfriend or something at home that, she knew the truth. And there was a few other people. And she had like a guilty conscience or some shit. So she ends up like bringing them the true information. They end up asking all the friends. All the friends flipped on him. Everybody flips on this guy. And now they know the truth. But now they're like, all right, well, we need you to tell us what the fuck happened now. And I'm like, well, if you know what happened, like, you don't really need me. You can let me go home now. And they're like, oh, no. See, you were down with everything. So you're fucked. And I'm like, oh, man. I'm like, so what am I going to do? So I call a family member who has been in the streets for years. And I'm like, yo, what am I supposed to do? Because this guy's blaming me. And I'm not blaming him back because I don't want to be considered a snitch or a rat or nothing like that. Well, he fully blamed me. I can show you the whole proof. He threw everything on me. So he's like, well, stay quiet. But if he really, I'm like, bro, I got the proof right here. I can send it to you. So he's like, send me all the paperwork and we'll talk about it in a few days. So I send him everything. He checks it out and he goes, this guy ratted you out, bro. And not only did he rat you out, he put what he did and said you did. And now what you did, he's like acting like he did, but minimizing it. You know what I'm saying? He's like, you're fucked. So I'm still holding it down. Then my lawyer comes with the first offer. He's like, yo, they're offering you 23 years. I'm like, 23 years? Get the fuck out of here. I ain't do shit. He's like, well, that's what they're offering you, and they're offering another guy 25. I'm like, are you fucking serious? I said, yo, bro, like, I didn't do nothing. I went with some guy who told me, yo, come with me, and I'll hook you up with a couple ounces of weed. I'm about to rob this guy. So I'm like, what the fuck? So long story short, my cousin, mad people done flipped on this guy. Now we've been there like going on 2 years. Basically, it's time to go to trial or whatever. They come to me, they're like, yo, the guy is gonna take like a 25 flat without the, you know what I'm saying, without the L on the back, and they want to give you 12. And I'm like, I'm not taking no fucking 12. I'm not taking 12. So long story short, it was just messed up, man. I was young and shit was all crazy. The guy ends up saying, I'm not going to trial. No, I'm going to trial. And then I'm like, I'm going to trial. So we both are supposed to go to trial. They're bringing me first, though. And then the day I go to trial, like the day that everything's supposed to start, and people told me this is normal, they come with an offer. Yo, look, instead of trial, take 8, and we'll be done with this. And we'll leave it at that, blah, blah, blah. So I'm thinking, like a dumbass, I'm like, if they went from 23 to 8, they don't got shit. I'm out of here. I'm not taking it, and then they'll probably go down to 4 or 3 or something like that. Long story short, they ain't going down to shit. And I ended up getting 8. This dude ends up, and I believe when you do dirt, you get dirt. This dude ends up getting 25, I think flat. And when he goes upstate, he dies. You know what I'm saying? Someone killed him? I don't know how he died. I looked him up. Not immediately. He didn't die immediately. He died like years later. But I happened to just look him up one day. Let me see what this dude is at. I ain't gonna lie. I wouldn't do that now. But I was actually gonna contact some people to go beat him up because I was like, this guy caused a lot of tension in my life. So, long story short, I look him up and it said deceased. And that to me was like, what the fuck? But when I was in prison, that was where I like became very evil and different. You know what I'm saying? So he took a plea deal for the 25 or he went to trial? No, he went to trial, and in the middle of trial, he took a plea deal. And what about you? I pled out. I was. So you took the 8 when you realized they weren't going down from that? Yeah, because I thought they would go down to like 5 or 4 because in my mind I said that's a big drop. Yeah. Yeah, they dropped from 23. They obviously, I'm thinking, and I'm 19. I mean, I'm not 40 like now where I would analyze the situation better. I'm 19. I'm just trying to get home so I can get some pussy and hang out with my friends. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, I'm like, yo, I don't want to take it. But I knew, like, in my mind, I knew they were going to lower it, but they didn't lower shit. So I ended up taking the 8, which really was 13 because it was 5 years on the back of it. And as soon as I violated, they sent me back in. And, you know what I mean? Altogether, I've done like 14 years. And what was the charge? What was it again? It was attempted robbery attempted robbery in the second. With some weird ass. It was like attempted robbery in the second or in the third. Did they put a murder on the plea deal or no? No, murder was originally my charge. Okay. And then basically plead to this and you won't get, we know you didn't, we'll give you this. But you still got to take 8. Really, they just wanted the years. Like, got to take 8. Now, if his girlfriend never came forward, do you think you would have been convicted on murder?
with his testimony and stuff, or was there not enough evidence?
Yeah. Yo, I don't believe in the racial stuff, but he told me something that was crazy because he was a white dude. He told me, "You think they're gonna believe some little fucking dirty nigger?" This is what he said to me through bullpens. He said, "You're gonna believe some fucking dirty nigger from Quorum over a white boy from Mastic?" He said that shit to me. I was like, "You're fucking dead!" I'm fucking screaming. I'm gonna kill you.
I'm shocked they put him in that same cell when they knew he was the rat.
It's like how you call that shit?
But even the same day, if he was already cooperating, you know?
No, this is now around trial time.
No, I'm saying before that, the first time you guys talked.
Yeah. We were in the same bullpen.
Yeah, that's
I'm
crazy.
talking about on the same bench, right next to each other, like, yo, listen.
Unless he cooperated after.
Nah, it was the day he was, when he was caught.
Yeah.
Like right there.
Yeah, because how would they have gotten to you in Florida?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's when as soon as he got caught, he told on me. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know. I kind of forgave him, even though he's dead. I forgave him later on in life. I forgave almost everybody that's done dirt to me. But those 8 years were very rough. That's why I kind of held a grudge, and I used to always try to send him little messages up there, little beat downs and stuff. And, commissary helps a lot. Send a guy $100, want to beat some guy up for you. You know what I'm saying? But, rest in peace to that, man. I don't wish death on nobody, even somebody that does dirt to me.
Tell us about those 8 years. What was your experience in the prison system?
Well, first I ended up going to Clinton Correctional Facility. It's maximum security. I'm not a gang member at the time. I'm just a neutral 20-year-old kid because I just turned 20. I'm like 140 pounds, Dominican kid. So I go upstate, chilling. As soon as I walk down, it's like this fucking skinny little tier with the cells, and it's just so skinny. I thought it was like TV where it was bigger. I'm like, whoa, that thing is skinny, and I got to walk through there to reach my cell. I still remember I was in 24 cell. So I got my little net bag with the stuff they give me, and I'm walking, and all the mirrors pop out. So I'm like, oh, snap, just like the movies. So now, I'm 20. I'm still trying to find myself. So now I'm walking with a little more bop, trying to look tough. Meanwhile, I'm like 140 pounds. These guys probably just take me and snap me in half. But I'm like, get to my cell, and immediately this guy pops a mirror out. What's good? Where you from, fam? I'm like, oh, I'm from Long Island. And he's like, oh, all right. Yo, listen, you look young. Don't accept nothing from nobody unless you know them, man. These dudes don't play fair up here. And I'm like, all right. But I'm like, oh, shit, what if he's not playing fair? He's really trying to be nice to me. I was like, I got to stay on point for everybody. That's how I was thinking. This is maximum security. And then I kept thinking about Tupac. Yo, wasn't Tupac here? Oh, snap. I've been where Tupac is. That's crazy. So I'm like, yo, this is real. Anyways, I end up, next day, some guy named Z walks up to my cell. Hey, what's up, brother? Welcome to the jail. You Spanish, right? I'm like, yeah, I'm Dominican. He goes, all right. Passed me like 3 shampoos, bunch of soap, bunch of stuff. So I'm like, he's giving me something. This guy wants to like rape me or something. That's what I'm thinking in my head. Like, what the fuck do I do? So I'm like, I just hold the stuff. I said, when he comes back around, I'm gonna just pass it back to him. So he's coming back around. I'm like, hey, Z, I don't need this. I put it back. So I don't need that. He's like, it's for you, bro. I'm like, nah, I don't need that. And then he's like, what's going on? I was like, I don't know you, fam. I don't fuck with you. The fuck out my fucking face. I ain't no punk because you think I'm young. And I start like saying everything that's on my mind like an idiot, which is the wrong thing to do in prison. You're supposed to say as least as you can. You think because I'm a young boy, you gonna do something to me? You have to kill me, motherfucker. I'm talking mad shit. So he's like, what? Yo, this guy's crazy. He takes his stuff. He's like, I'm gonna see you outside. So I'm like, oh shit. This guy wants to see me outside. It's like my first week there. I'm like, what am I gonna fucking do? This guy's about 250 pounds of muscle. I'm like 140 and I'm only 20. He's like 35. I'm like, fuck. I'm like, I'm going out there. So I knock on the door like a dumbass. Fam, to the guy next, I could borrow a knife. Like, it doesn't work like that upstairs. Oh yeah, here, borrow mine. So he's like, borrow a knife. He's like, what you want to borrow a knife? What the fuck going on? So I tell him, yo, the dude, he goes, listen, just go outside, man. If that man comes up to you on anything, just handle your business, man. I can't give you no knife. So I'm like, fuck. So I go to the yard. I end up not seeing the guy. Next thing you know, he comes this Puerto Rican blood kid. Mind you, I don't know he's blood. He's like, yo, what's up, fam? I'm like, what's up? He's like, you new? I'm like, yeah, I'm new. He's like, you don't know nobody? I'm like, nah. He's like, come fuck with me, bro. I'm like, all right, I'll take a spin with you. So we just talk, and he's from Brooklyn. I'm from Long Island. We just talking. He goes, come on, I'm going to come introduce you to my friends, my peoples. I'm like, all right. So we go up to we go up to, there's like these courts where they hang out, all the gangs and everything. And, you know, you don't enter unless you're part of that gang or unless they like give you permission to enter their little areas. So I'm there. They tell me I could come in. So now I'm noticing, oh, snap, these guys are all Bloods. I'm like, oh, wait. The old guys in the county always told me stay away from the gangs upstate. So I'm like, damn. So one of them's like, hey, yo, listen, you know, maybe with time we could put some stones in your pocket. So I'm thinking like, what the fuck is a stone in my pocket? I never heard that type of lingo. I'm like, yeah, no problem. Yeah, no doubt, bro. And he's like, all right, that's what we talking about. So then the Puerto Rican kid tells me like, where are you? You want to be Blood? And I was like, be Blood? Oh, no, I don't fuck with no fucking Bloods. I can't stand them motherfuckers. Like an idiot, running my mouth, realizing, oh shit, I just said this in front of about 15 Bloods. So now they're all looking at me like, what? So now they're plotting on me. I'm about to get sliced. So I'm like, fuck, why did I say that? So I'm walking off. The Puerto Rican kid's like, yo, let me holler at you. We just want to spin the yard and talk to you. You know what I mean? And I don't know how the feds is, but in the state, like, it's easy to cut you up. Like, so I'm like, oh my God, I'm about to get sliced. So I'm walking with the kid and I see the movements. I was like, nah, I'm about to get sliced for what I said. I was like, fuck, what am I gonna do? I don't know nobody, I don't got a weapon. So I'm just like, fuck. So I'm just walking. And I kind of say, you know what? Fuck this. So I start walking. Come on. Nah, I smell what's going on, fam. I was like, you ain't catching me like that. And he's basically like, yo, it's gonna go down anyway type shit. I'm like, damn. And I'm like, this is a max. I'm fucked. I've never been in a max. I'm just terrified. You know what I'm saying? Long story short, I'm walking, they're creeping, they're trying to catch me. And the Puerto Rican kid like came at me. Like it was almost like, fuck it, let's get him. And he came at me. I back up and I swung, missed. And I'm terrified. You know what I mean? I'm old now. I don't got a whole no ego. I was fucking scared. I'm like, yo, I'm about to get fucking jumped and these guys might slice me up. So I'm like, what am I gonna do? So I tell him in Spanish. I said, yo, tú no mamas huevo, loco. Basically, you're a dick sucker. Like, I can't believe you, man. And out of nowhere, I heard, hey, you Dominican? And I look over, I'm like, yeah. That's when I learned about the Trinitarios. That's what I became. I was there for 18 years. Dominicans from every corner of that prison appeared out of nowhere. Like Voltron.
Is that a prison game, Trinitario?
Yeah. Probably the most dangerous one in there.
I've actually never heard of them.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Patria? Yeah, you probably see on Gangland or something.
I don't watch Gangland. Oh. I'm sure it's there, yeah.
Nah, Trinitarios.
Well, because in the feds, it's at least on the East Coast, it's not really gangs, it's car.
Yeah, it's the car.
Yeah, it's the cars, and then like all the Spanish will run together within their car, even though they're a part of a bigger car. And kind of a lot of the Dominicans were in the New York car.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Trinitarios, I bet.
So why didn't you just say you were a Crip when you got there and use that cover story?
One, Crips don't live upstate. Two, I was really out of because when I went to the county jail, no disrespect to any Crips out there, all the Crips were pussy. They all were scared. They all used to go to protective custody. They all used to become Muslim. Oh no, I'm not Crip anymore, I'm a Muslim. And I was like, yo, what the fuck? We're supposed to be the Crips, bro. Like, so then I was like, you know what, fuck this Crip shit. And just like I got in without permission, I got out without permission. I was like, ain't nobody doing that.
So are Trinitarios strictly prison gang, or are they?
No, now they're big in the streets.
Okay, so they're both big. Now.
Very, very
Back
big.
then, were they just prison?
Yeah. It was like if you were a Trinitario from the street, you were looked upon as fake. Back then, you know what I'm saying? Not anymore. When it was strictly prison back then. And when that day happened and they were gonna jump me, those Bloods, the Dominicans all showed up and they basically were like, he's Dominican, you're not touching him. If he's not a rapist or a snitch or a fucking any of those things, you cannot touch him. He's Dominican and he's safe here and nobody doing nothing to him. And if you want to go toe-to-toe with him, we could do that. And they told me, would you be down with that? And I was tough, even though I was young and little. I don't know, I never was scared of nobody. So I was like, yeah, let's do it now. Now I got backup. But I'm kind of running my mouth because I'm young, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, what's up now, nigga? Yeah, look at you now. Long story short, the dude didn't want to do that. He tried to be a coward. And, he got his by his people. His people, I guess he made his people look bad for not going toe-to-toe with me because he was super down to jump me. But you weren't down to go toe-to-toe, you know? So his peoples handled him in the way that they handled him, and that was a race, and that's when I started hanging out with Trinitarios.
Were you hesitant to join another gang?
I was always kind of tough. I told them straight from the beginning, like, when I was younger, I was hanging out with the Crips and I was repping that shit, right? And they're like, you repping it now? I'm like, no. They're like, then you're good. I'm like, all right. So it was that simple.
Was there any other like initiation? Like, did you have to do a send-off mission or anything?
They did like a test. There was this Dominican dude who was like black as night. So he could like play the role of a African-American dude. Like he made me look light-skinned. So they told me he was a blood and that he had did something to one of the brothers in another jail and that I had to go handle him. So I was like, all right. And they sent me with another young guy. And we go up there and we're walking up to the guy about to handle our business. And he turns around and in Spanish tells us, good job. You guys are official.
Like an episode of Punk'd or something.
Yeah. And I was just like, oh, snap. Turned out his name was Big Louis. He was a really good guy. He actually was really cool. Actually, really, really cool. Really good dude. Like, he's in prison, so obviously he's done some bad things, but he had good character. He treated people nicely and stuff. He was cool. And about 6 months after I started hanging out with them, they called me to the yard one day, and they told me, there's some bad news about you. You got to report outside. Can't believe you betrayed us. And I was just like, what the fuck is going on? Then another brother sees me in the hallways. You fucked up, bro. We'll see you in the yard. So I'm like, oh my gosh, what the fuck did I do? I didn't do shit. I was like, somebody's probably lying on me or something. Then I thought of it. I said, I know I didn't do shit. Fuck that. I'm going to yard. I didn't do shit. I come to yard. They surround me. Come take a walk with us. I'm like, fuck. If I get sliced by my own people, fuck it. I got sliced. And they brought me to little like area where there was no COs or whatever. And they were like, ready to become a member today? I'm like, and I was kind of immature, so I'm like, you guys, I'm like being kiddie about it. You guys tricked me. And they're like, yo, stop fucking playing, man. This is serious. And I'm like, yeah, I'm down. And that's the day I took the oath and became a Trinitario. And then after that, that's all I cared about. It's all I thought about. It's all I breathed. It's tattered all over my body now. It's like, it was all I cared about.
When you say oath, like they brought a Bible, hand on the Bible type thing?
Yeah, like a little Bible, put my hand on it. I said the oath of the Trinitarios, which the Bible says you're not to take oaths on anything on this earth. So I rebuke that and I regret that in the name of Jesus Christ. But I took the oath and I became a member. They checked my paperwork, they checked my court papers, all that. Because they got to check everything. Make sure you're not a rapist, make sure you haven't thrown people in prison, all that stuff. So they checked all my stuff. And then they were like, all right, you're going to be a member. They took me off probation, made me an official member.
They waited 6 months to do that.
Yeah, sometimes it takes 9. But, I was pretty cool and I was always ready for whatever.
That's probably uncommon for prison gangs, right? To take that long to get initiated?
Yeah, a lot of gangs just want members. They'll take whoever. So they'll put you on probation today and 30 days, oh yeah, he's official, and just bring you in. But we used to laugh at those gangs because to us it was like, you're recruiting for numbers. So you can have 300 sheep and I can have 10 lions. We're going to tear your whole pack of sheep to pieces. You know what I'm saying? And that's how we was kind of moving in there. We were more about fuck numbers. Let's get our strength up. As far as individually, let's work out. Let's have each other's backs. Let's not start trouble. But the minute someone brings it to us, let's tear them up so bad that they never again will think about beefing with us. You know what I'm saying?
Who'd you guys beef with in there?
Bloods mostly, because they was always starting trouble. Shout out to the Bloods. I ain't got no beef with y'all. But the Bloods, they was always, because the Bloods in prison in New York prison are like the deepest. They're the biggest. So they assume everybody has to just like, oh. And we were more like, oh, you're not doing shit. Like, we're not with that. Like, that's what we was about. We wasn't with it. You're not gonna oppress us. We're not gonna go by your phone rules. We're not gonna go by your nothing rule. It's either our rules or no rules. Or let's go to war. And that's just how we were.
What were your rules? Like in the gang?
Basically, it was stuff like, the regular stuff. Don't betray your brother. Don't tell internal business. Don't do homosexual activity. Don't call anyone a rat ever unless you have proof. That's like a big rule with them. You can actually get sliced for that. If you call somebody a snitch and you don't have any proof, they'll cut you up. Just stuff like that. They got a bunch of crazy rules. But check this out. I joined them, and then I don't know what happened to me, man. I became very manipulative. So I said, I'm going to become the leader of this shit. I was like, I'm going to become the leader of this. I'm going to bring this to Long Island, and I'm going to become the supreme commander of Long Island. And that's just what it's going to be. And mind you, I had like 5 years to go home. I'm like, watch. And yeah, when I left the max, I went to the medium. It was like cupcake there. More members, but I'm like, this shit is softer. And I just came from the max, so I'm automatically looked at like, oh, he came from max. He's crazy. You know what I'm saying? So because I was always, and I don't care if people see this, I was always smarter than all of them. I was very much smarter. I don't know how I was, but I was. I basically gained the trust of all the important individuals. This sounds evil, but this is the truth. I gained the trust of all of them. And I kind of knew that even though they were older than me and stuff, that they were all stuck in one way of thinking. They were all stuck in who's the toughest, who's the realest, jail gossip, this, that. And I knew that if I could somehow get deep into their spirit and their hearts, that I could take over. Because all I have to do is make you feel like I actually love you and care for you. Because that's what they do to us anyway. That's all gangs are. A bunch of fake-ass niggas acting like they love each other.
That's how they recruit kids.
Yeah, and in all reality, they're just evil and they're using you. So I knew this since I joined. So I said, well, I'm going to be the guy to do that. I'm going to be the big wolf. So though I was younger and a lot smaller, I was a lot smarter. And I've always been smarter than everybody around me as far as the street life. Because in no disrespect, a lot of people in the streets are very educated, you know what I'm saying? And they think one way. And they live by one law. And that's the only laws that they follow. And if anything other than that is fugazi or whack. Me, I live by my law. So I'm like, I live by the law of God now. But at that time, it's about me winning. So long story short, I got 3 or 4 guys that I seen really liked hanging out with me. And when we got really, really close, I brought them to the side of y'all one day. And it all started with manipulation. Such and such is a great leader. But you ever notice that this, and that? I'm not saying I'm bad about him. You know what I'm saying? But we got to check that. Yeah, you're right, bro. Yeah. And you ever notice how he treats you like if you're a nobody, bro? When you're one of the illest brothers in this jail, I look at you and I see an honorable man. This is me speaking to them. They treat you like you're nothing just because you're young. It's time for the young boys to really step it up. And now they're all like, yeah. And now I'm little by little planting seeds everywhere. Until one day, the leader broke a rule. He got into an argument with a member in front of rivals, in front of the Bloods, and he challenged them to fight. So that's it. That's all I needed. So now we hold an emergency meeting. This is unacceptable. How do you do this as our leader? Rest in peace to him. That was my boy B-Way, man, from Manhattan. He was a good dude. I just wanted his status though. So basically we're like, you messed up, and even the leader must be put in place. So we're demoting you, we're voting you out, and let's vote a new leader. Mind you, I've already planted all the seeds. I know where the leadership's coming. It's coming to me. And just like I planned it, yeah, let's vote. I think they used to call me Baka in prison, which is the name of a demon, actually. The name of, they say it was Satan's nephew. It's some made up shit, but his name is Baka. That's what they called me. So I'm like, everybody, Baka, Baka, Baka. So I become the leader now. I literally go from every single prison I go to and become the leader again. I use the same exact technique. I grab 3 or 4 guys. I brainwash them. I manipulate them. They do it with their close ones. I do it to them too. I show them extreme love, which is what all gangs do. I mean, I'm even dap them up, look them in their eyes. This is brotherhood. Shake a little, make your eyes water. Now he's like, wow, this nigga's real. He loves me, man. And I was really evil, bro. And then I just had all these people under me, and I felt like as long as I'm the leader, I don't got to slice nobody up and do nothing. So I'm going to always make sure that I become the leader. And I have the power to become the leader because I'm mentally more disciplined than these dudes. And I actually took time to learn all the laws. So I know that you guys see these laws as like, oh. So the guy that knows them all is like, wow, he's really knowledgeable. And really just learned a bunch of bullshit. And that's how I did it. I took over the gangs and really never had to put in much work. I just had them do the work.
That could have backfired, though, if someone found out what you were doing.
It did, actually. Somebody did. But the reason why it didn't backfire was because I somehow manipulated the situation and reversed it on him somehow. I forgot how I did it. But I was pretty evil, man. I was mad manipulative, and everything was about me winning.
You know, you see it in movies and these TV shows all the time, and they're obviously based on something because it's always the second in command or the guys underneath that are neglected by the leader, and they're the weak point, you know, and that's how you overthrow someone.
Yep, I overthrew for real. I overthrew so big it was crazy. Then there was a Mexican or Salvadorian gang called Azteca Nation, and one of their members got into a fight with one of our members over a weight. Yo, I got that next. No, I got that next. Actually, no, I got that. No, I got that next. So what you want to do? What you want to do? Brrr. They're rumbling. Now the Aztecas and the Trinitarios are on the verge of war. So I'm watching the whole situation, and I'm like, we're about to go to war with a whole bunch of Mexicans. We could easily beat them. Our team is strong. But for what? When we both have a common enemy, the Bloods. So after the fight was done, I sat there and I thought about it. I said, I know what I'm going to do. So I approached their leader. And I was like, yo, let's have a talk. We could go to war right after this if you want. Me and you could go to war. But there's no need. Let's have a talk. By the time I spun that yard one time with them, God is my witness. They were aligned to us. And I was only 23 at that time. I was huge. I was benching like 350, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah. And we made it the first time Trinitarios ever made an alliance, because that was actually against our rules. And somehow I was able to do it without getting in trouble. We weren't allowed to make alliances. It was us versus the world. And I made an alliance with the Aztecas. I said, if you guys got problems with any crew, we ride with you. If we have problems with any crew, you ride with us. If we have problems amongst each other, we speak it out. If it's too big of a problem, the individuals go toe-to-toe. I like that, blah, blah, blah. So before that, I told you there was a fight between two of our members. So what we did was I said, tell all your members to come to the yard Saturday night. Every member. I'm going to tell every member of mine to come to the yard Saturday night. All right, let's do it. So Saturday night we come to the yard. So I hear the whispers, the Bloods, the other crews. Oh, shit. Yo, all the fucking Aztecas is outside and all the Trinitarios is outside. These niggas about to go to war. And I hear them happy about it. I hear them like, oh, snap, yeah, fuck them niggas. We're going to take their phone. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. And I'm like, okay. I mean, I always was kind of like strategic. So I was like, it's perfect. Let them say that. And then I said, told everybody, before the yard ends, we're all going to, because they used to hang out on some bleachers. You know, Salvadorians and Mexicans, not stereotyping y'all, but they like to play soccer. So they're all playing on the soccer field. And they were sitting on the bleachers. So I said, let's all go over there right now. And we're going to walk up. Everybody's going to assume we're about to fight. And we're all going to dap up and hug each other. Give each other genuine hugs. Make it look as real as motherfucker. And then we're all going to turn around and basically let the yard see what the fuck is going on. We run this shit. So everybody loves me now. Yo, this nigga's mad smart. Oh, he's always fucking thinking of some big shit. So we start walking. I remember it was dark out. We're deep. We're like 40. They're like 70-something. You're not even supposed to walk that many people at once. So we broke it up into like little packs. We're all walking near each other. And I hear the whispers. Oh, it's about to go down. Yo, these poppy niggas. Because they call Spanish dudes the poppies. Oh, these poppies about to go down. Oh, shit, it's about to go down. And when we all walked up, they all walked up to us. We all standing there looking at each other. And dudes have been in prison with me know this is true. And they remember I did that. Which I'm not bragging, but it's the truth. We end up just walking up, grilling each other. We're all looking at each other like it's about to go down. And then everybody starts hugging, dapping each other up. So now all the Bloods, all the Land Kings, everybody's like, yo, what the fuck? Oh, nah. Oh, hell nah. And now we're like double the numbers of everyone. So now we're saying that I already know that the other Latin crews are going to approach because Latinos stick together. It's always been like that. So just like I thought, here come the Nietas a couple days later. That's when they were still around. Oh, you guys are getting fucking powerful. So what happens if we go to war with them? I was like, we jump on your ass. Oh, really? So how do we get down with this alliance? We don't got no problems with any of you guys. And we're Latino just like you. We had a meeting. Now I got the Nietas, the Aztecas, basically running under the Trinitarios. Because even though we were equal, whatever I was saying was going down. And then the Land Kings approached with the same offer. But they had some weird stipulations to it. They're like, we'll go to war with anyone except for the Bloods. So we seen that kind of cowardly, like, you guys are pussy. Like, you know what? Fuck you. We're done with you guys. And we didn't fuck with them. We didn't allow them in. Long story short, a few days later, one of my soldiers gets caught with a letter in his pocket. I'm sending a hit out to somebody. And he gets caught with the fucking letter. And even though it was my nickname, they knew who I was. They came and got me and a whole bunch of us, sent us to the box for a gang hit, and I went back to the max. So that's how they got rid of me there.
And when you went back to the max, do you reclaim leadership or?
No, when I get to the max, the third in command for the entire world is there. So there is no reclaiming shit. He's big dog. It's third in command. Any country he steps in, any state, anywhere he goes, that's his position. He's third for the whole organization. So I'm like, fuck. But I'm like, all right, this gives me an opportunity to get close to him now. This will help my plan for when I go home. So now I'm in there, the most loyal soldier. Listen, do me a favor. Go to the yard. I need you to grab 2 knives, bring them inside, hide them here, blah, 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 blah. And just see how you guys get past the metal detector. No problem, sir. I'll take care of that immediately. I'm talking like that to this dude, like, you know what I'm saying? And I'm really smarter than these dudes. So I'm like, all I gotta do is act like that, and this guy sees me as a fucking mega soldier. And because I see he's a real dude, he's never gonna flip on me. So that's what I do. I'm basically his goon. Whatever you say, sir, you let me know, sir. Oh, you don't gotta call me sir, brother. You my brother, man. Now we get close. The minute I knew we was close is one day I was in my cell. It was my birthday. I was sitting there. I was lonely, thinking about life, just like, damn, I can't wait to get out of here. And a guy comes to my cell, dum, 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 brings me a huge bowl of beautiful food, looking great. Brought me like a big sack of weed like that. And he goes, this is from the boss. This is from Shogun. And I was like, wow. I'm like, all right. And there was a little letter in my rice. You're one of my most loyal little brothers here, and I love you to death. And I want you to have a beautiful birthday. Don't smoke this. Put it away. I got more for us to smoke in the yard. That's for your personal use, because I know that everybody gonna want to smoke with you. And I was like, wow. So I go to the yard, and now me and this guy are close. So there's another guy that has high position there. I'm on the phone one day talking to my sister. He goes, listen, I need you to get off the phone. I got to get on the phone. That's not how the rules work. No matter what position you have, you respect your brothers. So I was like, oh, I'm almost done. Give me like 8 minutes. He goes, get the fuck off the phone now, bro. I need the phone. I got to talk to my dad. So I'm like, come on, bro. You talking to me crazy, though. Get the fuck off the phone, I said. So I'm like, yeah, I'm not getting off the phone. So I just stay on the phone. Then when I get on the phone, he basically is coming in my face, not on some like hitting me shit, but he's like, yo, when I give you an order, you fucking listen, So I'm like, yeah, I hear you. But what they didn't know was that the first in command worldwide loved me to death. He's actually on the feds now doing life, but he loves me to death. So now I just secretly write him a letter. This guy's over here abusing his power. And, you know, this is not good for the organization. I believe we need true leadership here. You know, and you know I'm willing to step up if I must, as much as I don't want to. You know, but I would for the family. Letter arrives. He's in charge. I don't care who has position. He's in charge. The only person above him is Shogun. So Shogun actually, he said, nah, we're not doing that. And I was like, why? I thought you said one of your most loyal. He's like, you kind of broke the rules, man. You went over our heads. Why don't you come talk to me? And I'm like, he's like, I'm going to write him back, tell him that I'm not allowing that. And don't worry. I'm going to put you under my wing. And before I even can manipulate him to do it, he says, I got bigger plans for you. You're a loyal man, and you're going home in a couple years. I need you to take over Long Island and become the supreme leader over there. And I'm like, yes. Mind you, it's all retarded stuff, it's gang banging and stupidity. But at that time, this was my life. So I'm like, wow, I'm going to be the supreme for Long Island. Like, what the fuck?
It's wild they just took your word for it over a letter.
They always take, I don't know how it worked. I know now what it was because I've always had the Spirit of God living within me. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't know this. And I basically, I never got caught, none of that. All them years, I've done mad years, I've never got nothing. I've been in fights, but you know what I'm saying? Long story short, I end up going on medium again, and I end up going home. After 8 years, I go home. I'm just like, wow, society, you know what I'm saying? I didn't even know, like, it was weird. I didn't know how to use a phone with like a screen on it, or none of that. I remember my sister gave me a phone, I was looking at it, and I'm like, I waited till nobody was looking. I'm dead serious. I'm like, on. And I'm looking at it. I'm like, on. I didn't know how to use it. I'm like, and she kind of noticed from a distance, came over, look, I'll show you how to use it, bro. And showed me. And I'm like, oh, all right. But at first I came home with the mentality, I just wanted to be a good man and do the right thing, man. I really did. But that Trinitario stuff, people think you join a gang in jail and that's it. Like, it doesn't end right there. Because it's so deep in my mind now that it's all I fucking think about. It's almost like a religion to me. You know what I'm saying? At that time. So my plan now is to find out who the Trinitarios is out here and take them over and become their leader and have them all sell drugs for me so that I could be rich. That's how I used to think. So I go, I found out who the Trinitarios are. They're like a bunch of little kids, 16, 17. I'm like 26, 27. And I'm huge and I'm extremely dangerous. Just did many years in prison. This is cupcake to me. I'm like, I'm gonna take this over in seconds. And then I'll change it and make it official. So I go to their meeting and there's a guy close to my age who's their leader. And it turned out he made up all the lessons and codes because he wasn't a real member. He just made up his own shit and gave it to them and was like, this is official. And they following him. So now I get there and I realize this. And I go to their meeting and I basically tell them, you guys are fake Trinitarios. You're a fake Trinitario. And you're going to probably die because you're out here giving people fake fucking stuff and pretending. And now they're speaking up. I went to Queens not that long ago. And when they were talking to me, I spit my knowledge and they beat the crap out of me. And they said my stuff was fake. And when I came back to you, you told me it wasn't. Then another person speak up, yeah, man, I was in Manhattan and I bumped into some Trinitarios. And as soon as I spit my stuff, they beat the shit out of me. And I'm like, so I said, whoever wants to be a real Trinitario, walk with me. I got you. Because in a few days, there'll be a letter arriving from the leader saying I'm the leader anyway. And nobody believed it. 2 guys did, though. Now we out with you. And I dipped. And that was my beginning of trying to take over Long Island. And then next thing you know, the letter came from the leader. And I just had to go to every chapter and let them know I was the new leader.
And was this the beginning of the time period where they were moving towards the streets and outside of prison too?
Yeah,
or had that
maybe
been
like
around
5-6 years now into that. They're now in the streets.
So that evolved while you were in prison.
Yeah. So now I got the whole Long Island under me, every chapter, and I feel like I'm unstoppable. So I become a drug dealer.
Now, in an organization like this, in prison, did they have a hustle where like there's money involved, or is every man for himself, or how does it work?
Nah, people. I ain't gonna lie. That's one of them. You know what I mean? It's a criminal organization, but they're one of the most, like, I gotta give it to them. They look out for their brothers or whatever. You know what I'm saying? If one doesn't have any food to eat, he's gonna eat. If one doesn't have slippers to get in the shower, he's gonna have his brand new slippers. There's a kitty, they make sure everybody gets their stuff. And as far as making money, dudes like everybody else sell dope or Suboxone, jail stuff.
But do you kick up to the organization in there?
Yeah, you always throw something back, you know what I'm saying? But for the most part, I ain't gonna lie, the Trinitarios is pretty united. They'll make sure everybody eats.
And now on the street, is it just drug dealing is the main form of revenue?
Yeah, drug dealing, all that evil stuff. Drug dealing, whatever they could do.
And do they take care of the people in prison too? Like, are both organizations
they're supposed
combined?
To. They don't though, but they're supposed to. There's people that do. Like me, I used to look out for people. But it's not something where they're really doing it. Gangs, including them, and I don't fear because I'm going to be honest with you, I don't fear anything, man. Gangs are dumb, all of them, even the one I was in. Bloods, Crips, Trinitario, Lion King, Nieta, Zulu, Voodoo, Kudu, I don't know, whatever you call your gang. Especially when you're an adult man running around, bandana, I don't know, I just see it so corny now. Like, I feel like what would you respect more? If you had a guy you didn't get along with and he showed up with 10 dudes to fight you, or if he came here all by himself and was like, I want to go toe-to-toe with you.
By himself?
Yeah.
I don't like the gang stuff. I think it's dumb.
It's stupid. And you know what? It took me all them years to realize. Actually, when I got baptized, that day is when I truly realized it. But before all that, when I came home, I was just selling drugs, gang banging, trying to grow the gang, and just full of hatred. Just really full of hatred. And I stayed out, a couple years, caught a drug case. I ended up doing, I did 3.5 on the drug case. And that sucked. Went upstate, back to the same thing, took over the gang. Boop, boop, boop. Regular me. And it was just whack. But then I went to the box. Why did I go to the box? Oh, I went to a box because I wrote on a letter that I sent out, I wrote my nickname. So they said, that's gang related. Sent me to the box. Then they sent me to another medium. That medium, I don't know what happened to me, man. I just started like seeing things different. I would be in the yard and dudes just talking about gossip from jail and who got cut and this, and I didn't care anymore. I'd be like, yeah, I'm gonna go do pull-ups, man. I would go work out. I started realizing that instead of hanging out in the yard talking shit, I'd be more like reading. And I started studying Islam, like Muslim stuff. And I started getting deep into it. And when I came home, I considered myself a Muslim. And I was like, even though I was a Trinitario, I was like, I'm Trinitario as far as my gang, but my religion's my religion. Nobody gonna tell me what to believe in, right? So I used to believe in that. Then when I came home, I started getting away from that. And I went back to like believing in just crazy. So I was believing in like the universe is God and this and that. And then all these crazy different stuff that I just was feeding myself. And it started driving me crazy, bro. Like seriously crazy. I started hearing voices. Now we talking about 2021, 2020. I started hearing voices telling me to do evil things, bro. Like literally like I'll get angry at somebody. It's like, later on, ride your car around the block when no one's looking, take the plates off, run him over and keep going. And then just stash the car for a bit. You know, be like, where the fuck is this voice coming from? You know what I'm saying? Then it got worse. Then it was like a voice really telling me to do evil shit. So it was telling me like to kill people. It was telling me to attack people. It was weird. It was in my mind. And I remember it got to the point where I really thought I was gonna hurt somebody. I was scared I was gonna hurt like somebody bad. And I didn't know what to do. So I called like a therapist, and I was like, yo, I told him my whole story. I did prison time, I did this, blah, blah, blah. And now I'm hearing voices. And she said, you have OCD, which I don't know what the fuck she said. You have OCD, there's different types of OCDs. This is an OCD where you hear voices in your head and it tells you to do evil. I'm like, what?
Is it PTSD or OCD?
No, she said OCD, because I was like, isn't that when you wash your hands a lot? And then she's like, no, there's different types. And I hung up on her. I was like, nah, I say it's bugging. So that night, I remember laying in bed and having crazy thoughts about murder, about sex, about attacking women. May the Lord forgive me. I've never done that either. I'm against that shit. But you know what I'm saying? Like about attacking women, about attacking people, about killing people, about just really just as evil as it could get, bro. Torturing people, burning them on fire, like decapitating, like crazy stuff, like ripping eyes out, like thoughts like that, bro. And I've never done nothing like that. You know what I mean? Obviously I'd be in prison, but I'm like, it was getting really bad, bro. Like I couldn't sleep, I couldn't think. So this kid knocks on my door. He died actually from an overdose not that long after this, but some kid came to just say what's up to me. I opened the door, I put a gun in his face. Fuck you doing here, boy? Like bugging out, you know what I'm saying? And that's when I always had good though, deep inside. And I guess that little good told me, like, you're gonna end up hurting somebody, man. And I was like, the only solution is to kill myself. Because if I kill myself, then I can't hurt anyone. Because I really didn't want to hurt nobody, bro. I was like, I don't want to hurt anyone. That's not who I am, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just gonna kill myself. And at least people won't get hurt by me because I can feel it. I'm bugging out. I never heard a voice in my head in my fucking life. Now I'm hearing voices. I was like, yeah, definitely gotta kill myself. That's how I felt like. And believe it or not, this was the best day of my entire life, bro. That day. I woke up, I was stressed out. I grabbed my Glock that I used to have. I had a brown Glock. It was like painted. Put that shit on me. I remember I'm just riding around the neighborhood. I stopped, start walking up and down the blocks, and I'm just thinking, and I remember this is an example of my thoughts back then. Somebody might be walking by, that nigga look at me wrong. Shoot him right in his fucking face. Pistol whip his skull while he on the ground, nigga. And start walking a little more. Look at that stupid bitch looking at me over there. I'm gonna run over there and pistol whip her teeth out. Like, this is really like the things going through my mind. Oh shit, look at these niggas. They think they tough, huh? I should pull up, just shoot at them. Let's see who's really tough. Like stupid, you know what I'm saying? And I said, I'm gonna kill myself because I don't wanna hurt nobody. And it started getting bad, bro. Like, it almost felt like please let me shoot someone. Like, I just wanted to kill someone. So I was like, yeah, I gotta fucking go off myself before I kill somebody. So that night, around I remember it was like 10:30 at night, I grabbed the gun. I went deep into the woods with my car. It was like one of those trails that a car could fit. So I go deep, deep into the woods. I park right there and I'm crying and I'm like losing my mind. I'm having a spiritual attack. And I keep hearing in my mind like, you're nothing. You should just kill yourself, you know what I'm saying? And you're doing everyone a favor and you're nothing. Your kids hate you. You did all those years in prison. They don't even have love for you. They don't know you. Like, these things was going through my head. What are you doing here? Like, and I was just like, and I remember crying hysterical, man. I'm not even gonna like try to look cool. Like, I was just tearing. I was just like sobbing all by myself, deep in the woods, dark at night. And I was like, fuck it, it's time. You know what I'm saying? And I remember I took the gun. I was like, caca. And I was like, damn, man, it's about to go down. And I remember that feeling of, you know how, all right, not dissing anybody who does that. You know how people cry wolf, I gotta kill myself. And then they don't do shit. And you're like, all right, you wanted some attention? No, I was gonna kill myself that day. I remember the feeling, the pain. And I was like, it's over, man. And I went in there, cocked it back, and I remember putting it right here first. And then I was there. And there was this guy named Ron. He used to always try to talk to me about Jesus. I used to be like, I don't want to hear that shit. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't say that to him because I always was respectful to people, even if I didn't like what you had to say. But I'm thinking in my head, like, what's this guy talking to me about Jesus, man? And he used to always talk about Jesus. And I used to get furious. I'm talking about, like, deep inside, I used to be like, I'll fucking kill you on Jesus, nigga. Like, I don't want to hear that shit. And I'm just like, and then that day, man, in those woods, I don't know why. Like, he, like, called me. I looked at the phone, I was like, and then I was like, what the fuck? I pick up, hello. You could tell I was crying, though. What's going on, brother? I'm like, no, I'm chilling. You're not chilling. The Lord has put you in my heart. What is going on with you, brother? So I start sobbing. He's like, call on the name of Jesus and you will be saved. Call on the name of Jesus. Blink. I hang up on him. I don't want to hear that shit. So it's time for me to go. And he's blowing me up. So I remember I took it from here and I put it like this. And I remember I was just like, I'm crying. The tears are coming down and I was like sobbing like, I couldn't breathe. And I was like, it's time. You know what I'm saying? And I remember just holding the trigger and I was like, all I got to do is, because you don't really need to push much on the trigger. So I'm like, all I got to do is tap it and all this pain to end. Just stop being a bitch and do it. And I was like, do it, nigga. And I'm just like, and I open my eyes, bro. Some people believe me, some don't. I actually got a video that I could prove to you. I'll show you after, where I caught these things on video. I have it. I have it 100%. It's in my phone. So when you see it, you're gonna bug out too. So I opened my eyes for a split second, and when I did, they were full of tears. I remember it was fully wet, and I seen shadows, man, like figure of men. But I've seen literally like, it looked like millions of them. Like as far as you could see, everywhere. And they were all staring at me. And it felt like they were like, please kill yourself, please. Almost like if someone's begging you to harm yourself. Please do it, please, just do it. And I'm just like, and right there, I'm telling you, bro, and I'm a grown ass fucking man, almost 40 years old. I was like, Jesus, please. I've never ever called out for Jesus, bro. And at that split moment, bro, I didn't believe in nothing. I believed in gang. I believed in drugs. I believed in fucking killing people. Not that I've killed people, but you know what I'm saying? That's how I felt. And at that very moment, out of nowhere, I looked up and I just seen like a small light. It just like brightened up the woods. And I was like, and all those shadows, they didn't disappear. They fled. Which to me is a very big difference. They fled. They were scared of that light. They dipped. And I was like, and I don't know how, I didn't speak. I'm not gonna sit here and lie like it was like, Elvis, it's me, Jesus. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like that. But when I looked, man, I was like, I knew it was Jesus. I don't know how to explain. I knew 1,000,000% that light had something to do with Jesus. My spirit knew. Like even though I didn't have no knowledge, I didn't read the Bible. Like, I've read it in prison, like here and there, but I didn't take it serious. Like, I knew that had something to do with Jesus. I didn't think it was Allah, Buddha, Takashi, I don't know, whoever. You know what I mean? I knew that was Jesus. And I dropped my gun and ran. I end up bumping into one of my friends, and he comes back in the woods with me to go get the gun. And he's seen the light, too. For some reason, he just thought it was weird. What the fuck? And we dipped. A week later, that man Ron baptized me. And I believed in Jesus now. It was like no doubt. And I felt happy because it was like, yo, that's all I wanted was some proof. Yeah, he's real. I can't believe it. And I remember I went in the water And before I went in the water, there was bad people there for this too. That's my watch, my bad. So they say the guy Ron is looking at me and he's like, before we do this, is there anybody in there that we need to worry about? So I'm like, here we go with this Christian-y stuff, man. I'm like, here we go. So I'm just like, nah, I don't know what you mean. And he's like, what's your name? I'm like, Elvis. He's like, nah, what's your name? You come out now. And I'm like, oh, man. You see those people that do that? I mean, so I'm thinking, here we go with this. I'm not faking nothing. I'm not going to let you touch my head and fall on the floor. And I'm not doing that. That's how I'm thinking in my head. Like, I'm not doing none of that. If this is real, it's going to happen for real, or I ain't fucking doing this shit. You feel me? So, long story short, I'm like, and out of nowhere, I start feeling weird anger. Like, very anger coming in, like, very big anger. I'm like, next thing you know, I'm just like, yo, when you stop fucking asking me that? He's like, what's your name? I see you in there. And he had his hand on my forehead. And I like grabbed his wrist. I remember just wanting to attack him. And the name that came out, I'm 40, man. I ain't got time to play. I didn't say that name. It just came out of me. And you know what it was? My street name, Baka, which means the devil's nephew, and it's the name of a demon. So next thing you know, I'm like, my name is Baka. Ah! And I start trying to like attack this guy, you know what I'm saying? And they all grab me, they start praying around me. I had actually 2 of my friends from the gang that actually were genuinely good guys that they were like, man, fuck that. Give your life to God, bro. We're going to go support you. And they were like there showing support. 2 of my old gang friends. And they were there. They remember that shit. They told me, yo, I think you were just very stressed out. And I don't know, that was weird. But I bugged the fuck out. And then out of nowhere, I'm like throwing up and a bunch of tears coming out of my eyes. And that's when I realized, like, wow, there was like something in me because I felt different. It was like, whew. That's how I felt. If I could explain it, that's how I felt. It was like, whew. So I'm like, what the fuck? So finally, they baptized me. God is my witness. When they put me in the water, and I accepted Jesus. When I came out, every drop that came off my body, I seen Trinitarios falling into the water. I seen anger. I seen addiction to sex because I used to be a horn dog. You know what I'm saying? I got 5 kids for a reason. I got 4 baby mothers. So I'm like, I'm watching all these evil things falling off of me. And it was like I felt new, man. And out of nowhere, I don't know how to explain this, I knew 1,000,000% without a shadow of a doubt, it was like wisdom that was placed in me, that the devil was real. And I knew that God was real and that Jesus Christ was real. I knew it. There was nothing you could tell me. I still know it. There's nothing no one could tell me. You could get me the smartest Muslim in the whole planet to sit next to me and try to like school me. I'm not going to fall for it. You could take the biggest Buddhist, whoever. I'm not believing none of it because the Spirit of God lives within me now. After I got baptized, my whole life changed, bro. Like, I left the gang and I left it like that. Yeah, I'm not in it no more. Whoever don't like it, do something. That's it. You ain't going to do nothing. You know what I mean? Because I was the danger. You know what I'm saying? Like, you guys follow me because I was the danger. So if you really want to get technical, I'm still the danger. Like, you guys are not stepping to me. So
are the Trinitarios religious to begin with or no?
Yeah, their motto is Dios, Patria, Libertad. God, patriotism, and freedom or liberty. So before anything is always God. You know what I'm saying? But let's be real. I can't tell you, oh, praise God, and then stab you down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I never really understood that.
Yeah, so it's all bullshit. It's just little cool things they put in there to make, see, we're not a gang, we're an organization. No, you're a gang, bro. You guys are wearing bandanas, you're wearing beads, and if somebody else is wearing the opposite one, you're stomping them out and possibly killing them. That makes you a gang. You know what I'm saying? And I say that in front of anybody. I'm saying that right here, and this is going to go everywhere.
So you knew going into that baptism that you had to renounce gang life after that? Oh, you didn't know?
When I came out the water.
That's when you realized?
Right there on the spot.
So you were expecting to go back to gang life, but you were giving baptism a chance.
Yeah. But I was accepting Jesus, but I didn't think I was going to leave my gang and stop drug dealing. Like, I was selling a lot of drugs at this time.
And there's no repercussion from that? From walking away from a gang
I'll say it like
that?
this, and anybody attempts to harm me, it's not going to go good for them. And I think they know that. So, you know, we just leave it at
I just
that.
think that the whole gang thing, like we were saying earlier, is so silly. Like, I've had Latin Kings on the show, and I get messages from people saying, like, threatening me because I didn't get permission from their family about having them on. And meanwhile, these are guys trying to, these are guys who admit that a gang like the Latin Kings recruits kids, to these gangs, and they're trying to do better.
Latin Kings are a bunch of fucking assholes. Mm-hmm. Why? Because all gangs are a bunch of assholes. And you can all hear that. I'm not worried about anybody. I'm very official. And I walk with God, which means none of you could touch me anyway, even if you tried. The minute you try, what's going to happen is I'm going to somehow get discernment, figure it out. I'm going to notice, and I'm going to get away because the Lord's going to protect me. But anyways, all gangs are stupid, bro. And you know what? I really, really repent from being in a gang because I recruited a lot of people, bro. I've recruited a lot of people, bro. I've oathed in probably over 150, 200 people. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not proud of that. And if I oathed you in ever and you're seeing this, you should get out of that because that's demonic. It's from the devil. And I was influenced by demonic beings. That's how I believe in my mind. And I will never in my life support any gang. I don't respect any gang. I'm not scared of any gang. I walk with the Most High. You know what I mean? Jesus Christ, the way, the truth, and the life, the only living God.
What about your gang tattoos?
I wish I could remove them. I just can't afford to. You know what I'm saying?
They do have programs, though. I think that.
Oh, they do?
Yeah, there are. You got to look at that. There's some places that will do it for free.
Oh, wow. I'm definitely going to look into that.
Yeah, if they're gang related, they'll do it for free.
This one's gang related. This one, one on my back. I got a bunch of gang related.
But I also know it's like a part of your past, too, that you might want to.
Honestly, I want it off because I feel like it's demonic. One thing I looked at, every single gang sign is demonic. Look, I'm going to show you an example. There's a Trinitario sign. And I hope some Trinitarios see this. You see this? What do you see there?
Looks like a rooster, kind of. Like, or a
does look like a rooster.
Yeah.
But you know what I see? They throw this up. This stands for patria. This stands for pride of, being Dominican. But to me, the devil's very sneaky. He manipulates us all. He exists. And the whole time, you see what you're really throwing up?
3?
6.
Oh. 666. Oh, 666.
6.
Ah.
You know
that
what
makes
I'm saying?
Sense, yeah.
Bloods, same thing. 666.
Yeah.
Folk, fucking pitchfork. Don't get more evil than that. All the gangs, man. It's all demonic. And the leaders are all manipulative dudes just trying to recruit a bunch of young boys to have power and to manipulate and control the streets. And you're not going to make no money. Eventually you'll go to jail. And you'll just be somebody else's bitch when you get there because now there's another gang leader and you got to listen to him. Unless you're a gangster like that and you want to go up in the rankings, which is going to cause you more trouble, probably send you back to prison.
It's a revolving door.
Yeah.
Do you think it ever ends?
Ended for me. I bumped into a lot of them still respect me because not for nothing, they could deny this all they want, they could whatever. Bro, I helped build it, like most of y'all. Long Island, I built y'all. In the city, I helped build almost everything I had going on. And now I can tell you that I'm actually sorry I did that. I regret doing that. And gangs are bullshit. All of them. And I don't care what consequences come with that. All gangs are bullshit. East Coast, West Coast, North Coast, South Coast. I don't care what coast. Coast to coast. All of them is whack. They're all evil. And all you're doing is destroying our community, man. And I really hurt inside when I think about that I was a big part of that. You know what I'm saying?
How do you make amends with the past? Like, how do you find peace?
Holy Wall Street family. That's my crew. I got a crew of Christian brothers. I actually go around now and try to get gang members out. I actually baptized 3 Bloods about a month and a half ago in the ocean. Die-hard Bloods, teenagers. Baptized them. And I told them, I said, you don't got to get out the gang. I said, stay in it. I said, God's going to take you out. How much you want to bet? Oh, no, this is for life, you know what I'm saying? But, we'll see, but, I'm blood for life. Not even 30 days later, one of them gets kicked out for being too Christian. The other one moves to North Carolina, and then the members call him, you're kicked out. You took too many days to contact us to let us know you were in North Carolina. You're kicked out. The third one, he's like the knucklehead one that's like, no, I'm a blood forever. Long story short, about last week, he calls me up. Yeah, I ended up leaving it. I dropped my flag. So all 3 of those guys became Christian. And then little by little, I started like noticing that gang members, bro, I know why the Lord made me be a gang member older than me is for the experience. Because now that I'm a Christian, I'm going to use the experience to take those young men out of that. Like Holy Wall Street family, that's a crew I started. It's not a gang. We don't wear no bandanas because I'm against all that. But we're more like a brotherhood of men that love Jesus. You know what our gang codes are? The Bible. Dudes ask me, so what are our codes? The Bible. You know how you get ranking? By doing productive things in the community. you're exiled immediately if you're involved in any violence, if you're involved in anything that is against the rules of my Lord Jesus Christ. You know what I'm saying? And we're a true brotherhood because we're not about violence. We're not about none of that. We're not a gang. We don't wear colors. We don't do none of that. You know where we have our meetings? Bring your ass to church on Sunday. That's our meeting. You know what I'm saying? Your lessons are your Bible, and stay out of trouble. And make sure your grades is good and all that. You know what I'm saying? And at first I thought it was a bad idea, but actually now I got like 13 dudes. I'm seeing how positive their lives are going now. Like my little, I don't know the respect, we call him little white boy JP. We got my little white boy JP. He wanted to be a blood. He wasn't a blood, but he wanted to be a blood. Oh, he did whoop-dee, blah, blah. He went viral. He did, when he was like 15, he did a weird-ass video where he's like, whoop-dee, add me on Snap, man. And it looked like he went super viral off that. But he was like a wannabe gang member, and he's another one that we got out of that. And that's what we do, man. I do Christian hip-hop, actually. I actually made it, like, to the Christian hip-hop awards, and I actually got kicked out.
For what?
Yeah. I got into it in my neighborhood with, all right, there's these guys that they're like a rap group. I'm not going to say their name because they would love that. You know what I'm saying? But they're these rap crew guys that they're like very cocky. And if you're not kissing their ass, then they see you like, oh, why doesn't he kiss our ass like everyone else does? And I guess you become a threat to them. So long story short, I got into it with those guys. And everybody's scared of them. But I'm not scared of nobody. May the Lord forgive me because I have changed my life. I'm not like a gangster pretending to be a nice guy now. I really changed my life around. But I still have that anger in me. Like if you cross me too much, I'm not just gonna let you do stuff to me or. So they started talking spicy to me, and one of them told me, it's up and stuck, which to me means you're gonna pick up a gun and leave it stuck pointing at me. So I took that very disrespectful, and we started beefing. And I sent one of them a video. I sent it directly to him. I didn't post it. I don't do that. I sent him a video telling him like, yo, bro, anywhere I see you, like, we need to see each other. Because I'm telling you it's going to go down. And I made some threats to him on there. I was like, I'm going to shoot the fuck out you, bro. Which I wasn't going to do. I was very angry because they were like trying to mock me online. And these guys went, took the video, posted it online for clout because they're like clout chasers. They're not really gangsters, so they try to like act like that. So the dude posted it, and family court got it, took my kids from me. And I got kicked off of the Christian Hip Hop Award thing, which I'm glad it happened because it gave me time to refocus. I was kind of like straying away a little bit, which is hard when you used to live a street life, like a lot of things, you know what I mean? But now I'm refocused. I'm back doing my music. I got my studio running, and I'm just trying to do the right thing, man.
What do you do for work now?
Right now I work numismatics, actually.
What is that?
I sell gold and silver.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's going very good. I make a lot of money there. And I also have a recording studio that I own. And, it's doing decent. It's not doing, it could do a lot better. But right now it's doing decent. Yeah, that's
it's
just
a process, man. You get there. You just keep staying on that, on
Mm-hmm.
that path.
Yep, that's a
My
fact.
whole life's been a process,
Mhm.
I never thought this would happen.
Mhm.
We'd be sitting here today,
This is fire, man. This is
Yeah, I
dope.
appreciate you, man.
Yeah,
Well, that's
man.
what the show's all about, getting these stories out here.
Yeah, man. My story's crazy, man. I had a lot of stuff that happened to me that, even after all that, like, when I became a Christian, like, I started, like, everything started becoming weird. Like, everything that I thought was official, now I looked at it with disgust. And it wasn't like, oh, I have to think this way now because I'm a Christian. No, it was naturally happening. It was like, what are we talking about? Oh, no, this dude's fronting, man. We should go spray his house up. We're going to go shoot someone's house up? Like, are you fucking insane, bro? You're going to shoot a house up with bullets. Are you crazy? When back in the day, I'd have been like, yeah, go handle that. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm like, bro, you're an idiot. You're not even allowed to give an opinion no more. Shut the fuck up, because it just sounds stupidity to me. So I started seeing the changes in myself, and I just want to help others now. So I started doing Christian hip hop. I'm pretty good at it. Got a lot of videos, stuff like that. And like I said, I made it to the awards, and then these guys hated on me, got me kicked out, which it was my own fault. I should never acted that way. But, it is what it is. I fall and I get back up, so I'm just back up. It is what it is. I'm going to just keep working hard to do positive, you know what I'm saying?
What's the lesson you want people to take away from this interview today?
The lesson is that Jesus Christ is the way, the truth, and the life. Jesus Christ changed my life. I was a guy that sold drugs, gangbang. I've done it all, man. You could think of the evilest stuff. I've probably done it. I've worked with, major organizations that I won't get into, but I've done things that people dream of in the streets. I mean, I've touched multiple kilos. It's light. Like, I've done all that. And none of it's fulfilling, man. All of it is a lie. All of it is evil. And I truly believe in spiritual warfare. I believe that right now, as we speak, there's spiritual war going on. I believe that we're in end times. Years ago, I told everybody this. When I first got baptized, I started getting these weird wisdom, like stuff that I didn't even read up on. I was showing my friends, and the ones that watched it, they're like, yo, you ain't lying. Like 8 of them were smoking, chilling. I'm like, a name appeared in my head, Elon Musk. So I'm like, hey, yo, y'all know who this person is, Elon Musk? Oh, yeah, he's a rich dude, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yo, he's the Antichrist, I think, man. So people were like, why you say that? I was like, I don't know. Just something I feel inside. I said, and they're going to start telling us about, this 2022, 21. They're going to start telling us about aliens soon. Watch. Well, what's make you think of that? I was like, I don't know. I'm just thinking about that. Long story short, you see what's going on now. Drones, fucking UAPs, all this crazy stuff. And I feel like the Lord gave me all that knowledge, man. Jesus is real. Jesus is everything. He saved me in prison. All the years I never got stabbed, cut, nothing. In the streets, never got stabbed, cut, nothing. Never been hurt. I never even really been snuffed or anything. Like, I've always been protected. And I used to think it was that I was slicker than everyone, or that I'm slick. But really, I've been protected by the Lord my whole entire life. And it wasn't until I got baptized and realized that he was actually real and that he wasn't just a thing. And I started hearing his voice and feeling him and actually hearing his voice, which might sound crazy, but it is what it is. I hear God's voice. He guides me through my days, my life. When that started happening, all those evil voices left that I used to have. They left the day I got baptized, immediately. I never heard them again. But I realized that I'm a child of the Most High. And that's my whole goal in life, is to preach the gospel and bring as many people from the hood to Jesus. Not even the hood, anybody, period. But a lot of people suffering out there, man, and they're being misguided and taught a bunch of bullshit lies that ain't even real. You know what I mean? Everything's bullshit. Yo, one thing too, you could check this out later too. You see what I said about Elon Musk? Mm-hmm. You ever heard of Greek gematria? Mm-mm. Greek gematria? It was a system that they used before Christ of you take letters and you put them in a certain system and it equals numbers. And the Bible has a verse that says, let he who has wisdom decipher the name for the number of a man, and the number is 666. So it was weird, bro. I was just chilling by myself and I was thinking about that. And I feel like the Lord put this wisdom in me. Maybe this will be a way to get it out. Everybody out there, get your phone, go to Google, put Greek gematria calculator. It's going to appear. You take the calculator, you press it, boom, a calculator appears. You can write anything in there. You can write microphone, you can write sunglasses, you can write anything, and numbers appear, right? So the Bible speaks about the mark of the beast. The mark of the beast will be in your forehead or in your hand, right? So we assume forehead means it's going to be right here, but it could mean any part of your head right here, you feel me? So I was there thinking, and I was like, I believe Elon Musk, the Antichrist, man, that crazy-ass dude, man. You know what I mean? And I was like, I know he is, man. Just me in my own mind. And then I'm like, I know it. And then I started doing research. So then I found out about that system, the Greek gematria. So what do? I put the name Elon Musk. Regular numbers pop up, like 1, 2, 3, whatever. I put a bunch of stuff. And then I was like, I put SpaceX. Nothing. I put all that stuff. You could do this yourself. You go to the Greek gematria calculator. It has different, see that Greek gematria thing? It has like different rows of it, and they each have different numbers. When you put in the word Neuralink, every single category, everything, 666, 666, 666. And it's the only thing, period, that does that. You could look it up yourself, nothing else. You could put it, piano, fucking tissue, camera. You could write whatever you want in there, rug. The minute you put in Neuralink, it comes up as 666, everything. And now I start thinking, wow, that is not a coincidence. Where does Neuralink go? Neuralink goes in your brain. You know about Neuralink, right?
Yeah, that what he built.
Yeah, Neuralink is going to be a chip that's placed in your brain, in this part of your head. So I'm like, could this be a coincidence? Hell no, it ain't no coincidence. Think about it. They put in this shit in your brain. This shit equates to 666. Elon Musk got SpaceX, Starlink. He got fucking, what else? SpaceX, Starlink, fucking Tesla. All these companies, robots, all these things connect, bro. All of them. All of them somehow coincide with each other to help each other. Starlink, that shit's bringing us internet everywhere, which is going to help as far as the Tesla and the robots. And I don't know. I just feel like he has too much shit going on right now. Like, he could really lock this whole thing down.
Well, we know you're not getting Neuralink.
Yeah, I ain't getting no Neuralink ever.
Well, Elvis, thanks so much for coming, man.
Yeah,
this
man,
is
no
an
doubt,
awesome
man.
conversation, amazing interview.
Yeah, man, thank you, bro.
You showed up, bro.
It.
You performed, man. It was a good one.
Man, you already know, man.
And we'll have the links to your music and everything that you got going on in your studio in the description of this. And, keep in touch. And
definitely
if you need anything, we're here for you.
Yeah, man. I want to say one last thing, man.
Yeah, of course, brother.
I just want to say, everybody out there, man, if you don't know God, go find him, bro. Because I'm telling you, he'll take you out of anything. He took me out of gangs, drugs, prisons, all that. Jesus Christ is the way, the truth, and the life, the only living God. And I promise you, if you repent and you find him, it'll change your life like he did mine. Now I'm drippy, I'm chilling. You see the watch, being bow. You know what I mean? We chilling. I'm not rich, but life is good. And I don't have to do nothing illegal to get it.
And you got a fire hoodie.
And my hoodie's fire. You know what I mean?